watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted best of Pahrump for 4 years. Give them a call, 775-727-9900. News 25 is also brought to you by Gunny's Air Conditioning and Heating. New, service, and repair. Call Gunny's, 775-727-6800.
Hello and welcome to this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry. Thanks for joining us on Ace Country Radio, and we're also streaming at KPVM.TV. We're also on your Roku devices. It is Thursday, December 5th. In our top story, a Las Vegas man is now behind bars and in critical condition for threatening to attack Metro officers with a metal baton.
On December 5th at approximately 2:20 a.m., Las Vegas Metro officers received a report of a man armed with a bat breaking into businesses near North Cobb Lane in Las Vegas. While at the scene, Captain Kurt McKenzie provided a media statement to brief the public.
LVPD officers arrived and observed a male subject matching that description, wrapped in a blanket and armed with what appeared to be a metal baton in front of an unoccupied business. Shortly after, officers gave the subject verbal commands, at which time the subject utilized that baton to break the window of the unoccupied business and injured him. As officers continued to give verbal commands, the subject exited the business and went to a neighboring business in attempts to break into that one. LVPD officers continued with verbal commands and in attempts to de-escalate the situation, utilized less lethal options. The subject turned and charged at officers with the baton raised, causing 2 officers to discharge their weapons, striking the subject as he fell to the ground. While on the ground, the subject produced a knife and continued to disregard officers' verbal commands. Shortly after, he attempted to get up armed with the knife when officers utilized less lethal options for a second time, striking the subject. This caused the subject to drop the knife, at which time officers took the subject into custody and rendered aid. Medical arrived and provided treatment to the subject, and he was later transported to UMC Hospital, which he is currently in critical condition.
And Catherine Cortez Masto calls on the Biden administration to extend action for childhood arrivals and the temporary protective status programs.
Nevada Senator Catherine Cortez Masto is taking a bold stance against President-elect Donald Trump's proposed mass deportation plans, calling on the Biden administration to strengthen protections for immigrants under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, also known as DACA, and Temporary Protected Status, also known as TPS. Cortez Masto emphasizes the urgency of the situation, advocating for immediate action to protect vulnerable communities. According to Cortez, the current administration can legally extend temporary protected statuses as well as process DACA applications quicker. They can legally take action to extend TPS status to so many who are already here, working, contributing to our economy. They legally qualify to have their TPS status extended because the countries they come from are still in horrific conditions. Her remarks come amid heightened fears in immigrant communities over potential policy rollback and deportation initiatives, with Nevada home to more than 10,000 DACA recipients and over 150,000 undocumented immigrants, according to the Legal Aid of Southern Nevada.
And it was breaking news this morning as Northern California suffered from a brief evacuation due to a tsunami warning following a 7.0 earthquake. Rory Rossell has this story.
A powerful 7.0 earthquake struck the coast of Northern California on Thursday morning, sending tremors throughout the region and prompting a tsunami warning for the coastal areas. The earthquake, with an epicenter located in Humboldt County, was reported by the United States Geological Survey at 10:44 a.m. The National Tsunami Warning Center initially issued a tsunami warning for the coastal regions from Davenport, California to Douglas in Oregon, including the San Francisco Bay Area. However, the warning was lifted just before noon. The Tsunami Warning Center confirmed a message on X saying the tsunami warning is canceled for the coastal areas of California and Oregon. In response to the earthquake, authorities in Berkeley, California issued an evacuation order for parts of the city, particularly West Berkeley area, due to concerns about the potential tsunami. The evacuation order was later resigned after the warning was lifted and city officials assured residents that it was safe to return. Following the main earthquake, several aftershocks were recorded, including a 4.3 magnitude tremor near Petrolia, according to the USGS. Officials are continuing to monitor the situation closely as more aftershocks are expected in the coming days and weeks.
And does your Christmas tree get a bit dry? And are your paper-wrapped presents sometimes ripe for the kindling? Well, if so, we have some tips to keep your home fire safe this holiday after the break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, the holidays are upon us, and that means there's also, unfortunately, a risk of fires this season. So Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue is telling us how you can keep your home safe this holiday season and beyond.
Hi there, I'm Jennifer, Administration with the Pahrump Valley Fire Department, and I'm here to talk to you today about holiday fire safety. The first thing that we want to address is your Christmas tree. Some of us have artificial trees and some have live trees. As far as your live tree goes, we want to make sure that you're watering your tree regularly, at least once a day. When the holiday season is over with, make sure that you properly dispose of your Christmas tree at the local landfill. We also want to make sure that when you're putting your lights on your Christmas tree or on your the exterior of your house, that the lights aren't broken or frayed or there aren't exposed wires. So just make sure that you're going over the lights, checking the strands. If any of the bulbs are broken, they need to be replaced, either replacing the bulb or replacing the strand. We want to make sure that you're not overloading the light strands themselves. You can check the manufacturer's directions when you purchase the lights to see how many strings you can string together. Typically, LED lights you can string more of those lights together, whereas the older glass style bulbs, you can only string so many of them together. We also don't want you overloading your circuits by plugging too much stuff in at one time, so please be aware of that. We also want to encourage everyone to be very careful using any sort of space heaters, especially if you're using it as your permanent heat source within the house. Just make sure that they're plugged into a GFI and they're not running 24/7. We also want to make sure that when you're hanging your exterior Christmas lights, that you are hanging them with clips and not with nails. With nails, you're running the risk that you could possibly hammer into the electrical portion of it, and then you'd have an electrical issue there. Make sure that we're keeping our kids and our pets away from anything like lit candles, the heated items on the stove, things like that. Using extra caution, especially with candles, especially this time of year. Definitely, we urge you to use the LED candles, anything with a battery in it, rather than using a traditional candle. But if you're using traditional candles, make sure that you're putting your candles out at night before you go to bed, and same thing with turning off all of your lights and your Christmas decorations before you go to sleep at night. And we just want to make sure that everyone is safe and has a good holiday season this year.
And this season, with those Christmas tree lights and decorations plugged in, are you using your energy wisely? Well, Valley Electric Association is helping to debunk some common energy myths that will help you maximize your energy savings.
This segment of News 25 is brought to you by Valley Electric and its family of companies focused on serving our members. We're better together.
Misconceptions about energy use are hiding around every corner of your home, and they can take a toll on your utility bills. Don't be fooled by these common energy myths. Myth: the higher the thermostat setting, the faster your home will heat. You may think that walking into a chilly room and raising the thermostat to 85 degrees will make the room warm up quickly. Not true. Thermostats direct a home's HVAC system to heat or cool to a certain temperature. Drastically adjusting the thermostat won't make a difference in how quickly you feel warmer. The same is true for cooling. The Department of Energy recommends setting your thermostat to 78 degrees during summer months and 68 degrees during winter months. Myth: opening the oven door to check on a dish doesn't really waste energy. Truth: while it can be tempting to check the progress of that dish you're cooking in the oven, opening the oven door wastes energy. Every time the door is opened, the temperature inside the oven is reduced by as much as 25 degrees, delaying the progress of your dish and, more importantly, costing you additional money. Try using the oven light instead. Myth: ceiling fans keep your home cool while you're away. Truth: ceiling fans cool people, not rooms. Ceiling fans circulate room air but do not change the temperature. A running ceiling fan in an empty room is only adding to your electricity cost. Turn fans off when you're away and reduce your energy use. Myth: reducing my energy use is too expensive. Many consumers believe that reducing energy use requires expensive upfront costs, like purchasing new, more efficient appliances or construction upgrades to an older home. But the truth is, consumers who make small changes to their efficiency habits, like turning off lights when not in use, sealing air leaks, and using a programmable thermostat, can see a reduction in energy consumption. Remember, energy efficiency doesn't have to be difficult. Focus small to save big. To learn more about ways to save energy, talk to your local electric co-op.
And Tech Talk, your weather, and much more when News 25 returns.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back. Now here's Josh Osborne with this week's Tech Talk, and he's giving us information we all need for our computers.
Hey guys, Josh Osborne here with Pahrump Zone Great Computer Deals. It's time for another quick tutorial. Today we're talking about scammers. Now obviously I've done lots of videos helping people understand the reality that we're all facing with these scams that are constantly coming out and showing themselves in a multitude of ways. Showing up as pop-ups, showing up as emails, phone calls coming in, numerous different methods, showing themselves in a bunch of different ways, but unfortunately, all coming down to the same thing. They're trying to steal money from you. We don't want that to happen anymore. But what I want to do right now is kind of talk about some of the myths that I think a lot of people are confused on when it comes to these scams that we're seeing all the time. The main one is, and this is the one we're going to talk about, is the type of person that is committing these crimes, basically. Let's just call it for what it is. Typically what we see is that these scams are coming primarily from India. And I think what is happening, and after the research I've done, I truly believe this, that the poverty level there is extreme. There's a lot of people that are just doing their best to get by, and I think some companies that are out there are taking advantage of this and bringing these people in, paying them very little, and then just convincing them to basically take advantage of Americans and steal our money using these particular provided ways. And what we see mostly right now are these scammers posing as other companies, such as Amazon, such as Microsoft, such as banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America. And what they're doing is they're giving these guys scripts to read off. That's what a lot of people don't understand. These are not, master hackers that know everything about a computer and know how to get into your computer fraudulently. They don't know how to do that. What they do know how to do is to use their silver tongue and fear and different tactics to cause you such concern that you do stupid things, like letting them remote into your computer. That's the number one way it happens. They convince you that there's a problem, and you unknowingly give them full access to your digital home, your computer, that has a lot of really important information on there. Your pictures, your documents, usernames and passwords to important accounts like your bank account. That's how they get in. So they're not cyber criminals masterminds. They are simple people that have been given a job in front of a computer to read off a script and to fool you. So you have to understand that even though they are a threat, they're only a threat if you allow it to happen. You guys have the power at the end of the day, not them. They're not going to get into your computer. They're not going to hack into it against your will. They're going to convince you of a problem that you don't have, and you're going to give them access if you let them. That's the key. If you let them. You're not going to let them. Why? Because I'm making these videos. There's information out there now that educates people. That's how you stop this garbage from happening, is you educate folks. You tell them what the threats are and they know what to look out for. That's the way you stop it, is letting people know. And that's been our job here at the computer store. I know we can't change the entire world, but we can change Pahrump, and that's what we're trying to do. Educate you guys, keep you up to date on all the different threats that are happening, and show you how to not be the next victim. So thank you guys for watching these videos. I hope this kind of clears up some of these myths that are going around about these types of people and what they're doing, and also tells you what you can do to stop it. So help us out, spread the word. Let's get this the scamming situation under control and save the senior citizens of our fair town of Pahrump. Love you guys. We'll catch you on the next quick tutorial.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
And taking a look through our Lerner and Rowe weather cam at Mount Charleston, things look unseasonably beautiful this first week of December. And we have only a few clouds, but those temperatures, high 60s, pushing 70. We'll take a closer look at our forecast after this break in weather.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Desert View Hospital. We're here when you need us, providing compassionate and friendly care to our neighbors since 2006. DesertViewHospital.com.
Good evening, Nevada. My name is Rory Rossell, coming to you from the Channel 25 Weather Studios, and let's take a look at the Nevada temperatures right now. Fernley is at 51, Fallon is at 52, Carson City at 54, Tonopah at 52, Goldfield also at 54 degrees, Beatty at 69, Amargosa at 73, Las Vegas at 68, and Death Valley is at 80 degrees, but here in the Paradise of Pahrump it is currently 61 degrees. The high today was 67 degrees, wind blowing east-southeast at 4 miles per hour, humidity 19%. And the sun rose this morning at 6:40, and it is already set at 4:28 p.m. The humidity raises up to 32%, wind blowing east-northeast at 4 miles per hour, and the low tonight is going to be 39 degrees. But looking at the 7-day forecast, we're watching Santa drive all the way to the North Pole, and oh, he's about to hit the pole. With the 7-day forecast, let's take a look. It looks like we are going to be staying mainly in the 60s. There's going to be a little bit of humidity throughout the next week, and in next week on Tuesday we go back down into the 50s and back up into the 70s again. There's going to be a little bit of wind, but other than that, let's get that holiday spirit on. Back to the desk. Here's Unette.
Thanks so much, Rory. Always great to see your sun-shining face. See what I did there? Well, that does it for this edition of News 25. I'm Unette Gentry, and from all of us here at KPVM and A's Country Radio, thanks so much for tuning in to this newscast, and we'll see you on the air next time. Good night.